feeling for the person that has to put that together. Been there, done
All right, VE testing. We had a whopping 0 people testing today.
No
So,
failures.
Everybody passed.
so yeah, everybody passed.
Nobody.
Or nobody passed, take your pick.
Nobody failed either.
Nobody failed either.
There you go.
And so we took the time to try and get my computer working with the printer, which it isn't, so that's playing.
Take the printer home.
That's an idea, yeah.
Yeah.
So since I have been dragooned into being the club's testing coordinator because Steve has been promoted to being the regional coordinator.
Yeah, if I may jump
Yes,
in on that.
absolutely.
And I'm going to stand up for this because it involves everybody in here that's a VE and our club. There's been a lot of talk among the regional coordinators at the semi-management level and up on going to a digital environment. I've got 3 teams that report to me that are currently all digital. There's no paper involved. The people can take there's one where they can actually take the exams remotely with coordination and scheduling to make sure that they're monitored with webcams and things like that. The clubs that do all digital say it makes it faster. There's no paperwork to lose. It makes it more easy to read, et cetera, et cetera. But they all have club money where they bought cheap fire tablets to give the tests with. Okay? When I was talking to the national management on this, I said, we're a small club. We're not rich. I would wonder who's buying the tablets, who's taking care of them, who's making sure that they're available, what happens if one breaks, the logistical side of things. And they say, well, we're looking into it to see if they can get money from ARRL. Yeah, and I said the same thing.
Good luck.
Yeah, to do something like this. But if you were a person wanting to get your amateur radio license or upgrade, would you be interested in doing it digitally? There are pros and cons to doing it both ways, so I thought I would do a little spot check to put in your minds how you guys feel about if we do it digital or the way we're currently doing it.
What are the main cons that you encounter?
You miss out on the additional information. Anybody can take a test online and then walk away and they're done with a passing grade. They don't know where to start, they don't know who to talk to, they haven't met any of the local hands, on and on and on. It's kind of like when you go to a convention. You can watch it on the web, but you get more meat out of it if you're there talking to people, asking ad hoc questions, finding out what Coy's favorite radio brand is, how he hooks it up, where is he located, can you answer some quick questions on operation? None of those questions come up really during an exam session.
Right.
They all come up afterwards, which is why we do the post-exam briefing. So the biggest con I can see is there's not a lot of information sharing. So the person finishes their test and they're done. If they're just doing an upgrade and they know where they want to go, that's great.
The question I would have, and this is strictly from my perspective, is I would have to have the questions read to me. How would that work?
We actually have the capability of doing that now. It takes a person reading the questions, and it has to be done in a particular way so as to not give leading answers.
But how would it be done if it was done digitally is what I'm getting to.
One of the VEs would read the questions over a Zoom session, like Barbara called it, testing by Zoom, and then you would be answering your question or having somebody help you put the answers in to your electronic equipment at your site. So it could be arranged, but it would not be easy.
Steve?
You had your hand up next.
Yes, we need to separate online digital from digital in
Right.
person.
We've
been talking.
The teams
about,
that are doing it right now are doing both.
right,
One's doing both and one's doing with tablets. So yeah.
but the one with tablets, digital, in place, you're going to still have the interaction with people.
Correct.
It's the online ones that you're not going to.
Correct.
And I
That's
think
a
we need
very
to
good
separate
point.
those two.
That's a very good point. I
That was
missed that.
going to be my point.
Yes, sir.
That, what I was going to say was partially covered by that. Right now, in-person testing, technicians take the exam and ARLs, it's an enormous number, like 80% never get on the air again.
Yeah.
And so if you went to digital testing, I'll bet that number would even go higher. And that defeats the purpose of, as we die off, there's not the young kids coming in. And so ham radio will eventually fade away.
Right.
The perspective, sorry, the perspective as you're talking about young kids are used, anything any younger than me, I suppose, is they're used to taking all their tests digitally. They look at this pencil and like, I'm supposed to do what? I'm supposed to circle all this in, really?
Well, they may take tests great, but without the interaction,
I-
if 80%
all-
don't
all I'm
follow
saying is
through,
that-
then even more aren't going to follow.
that-
They learn how to talk to people.
If you are, I don't think I like the Zoom, testing by Zoom thing, but I don't mind at all the concept of taking the exam
Using tablets.
using tablets here in the same situation with everybody as a resource. But I'm probably well, no, I think you got your license after I did, but, you know, as a recent licensee, I wouldn't have had any troubles at all taking it on a tablet, but
Yeah.
I think the in-person is the key thing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think I was going to upgrade to the general back around COVID time when everything was shut down, and so I actually waited until people were doing it in person again because I wanted it in person. I would have been completely fine with a tablet. I didn't want to do it over Zoom, and the impression that I get a lot of the younger ones that had to go through doing a lot of the online stuff, they don't necessarily like the online testing. I think they got kind of burned out with it.
Okay.
Oh, we all got tired of online everything.
Yes, Tom.
I was Facebooking a little bit this morning before I come to the meeting, and this popped up in my feed. WM7X is doing testing somehow or another entirely over the air. You don't even have to go anywhere. You do it on your phone or tablet or computer, and you get a license.
Send in your box.
Alaska is a lot of that way.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can understand Alaska because they're spread out
They're like
all
Canada.
over the damn continent, kind of say. But this popped up on my Facebook this morning. This ad. If anybody wants it, they can take a look at it and whatnot. But that's what kind of brought my attention to what they're leaning towards. I just feel that if they're going to go this route,
Yeah.
ham radio is dead. That's what happened to CB.
So let me kind of summarize what I heard to make sure I've got it right, because we're supposed to have a call in 2 weeks. Using tablets and electronics to actually give the test in person, it's tentatively okay. Mostly positive, I'll say, mostly
Not
positive.
necessarily preferable, but certainly okay.
Okay, but Zoom testing, not so much. Okay, if anybody has any opinions or questions, then you're not comfortable presenting them in this environment, please email me, any5sd@arrl.net.
Can I add one thing to that?
Yeah.
And this is strictly from my perspective as a position that when I used to work, I had a job. I don't know where that signal from that tablet is going, and I would be very reticent to put any PI, personal information, social security, anything
Yeah, that's
on a
good.
tablet that goes out to somewhere where I do not know. And I would say, I'll do them, but I just really don't like putting PI electronically if I don't know where that's
Well,
going.
for that matter, when I filled out all my PI from my exam here, I mean, I know you guys, but I might not have. You could have done anything with
Well,
it
luckily,
in paper form
Social
as well.
Security number is not required. That's why you go to the FCC site